June 29, 2019, South Australia, Acme Steelworks. A double road train and a massive train smashed together at a level crossing. And, well, the police didn't even blink. They immediately charged the road train driver with negligent driving occasioning death because, hey, he ran the flashing red lights. Open and shut, right? Simple. Put him in cuffs. Problem solved.
But see, when you actually look at the mathematics of the thing, it changes completely. The company had installed the electrical induction loop sensor at 260 meters from the crossing, instead of the standard 300 meters. And on that exact morning, the train was clipping along at 42 kilometers an hour instead of the 25k limit. Now you do the math. That leaves a warning window of only 11 seconds. But that massive road train physically required a minimum of 14 seconds to stop. The crash was a mathematical certainty before the driver even touched the brakes.
But we love blame, don't we? It's like a cheap dopamine hit for managers. It's quick, it's emotionally satisfying, and it gives this warm, fuzzy illusion of safety in the middle of organizational chaos. But once you blame a person, your inquiry just stops. The brain goes, found the bad guy, we're safe now. And we completely ignore the latent conditions that set them up to fail. And look, I hear it all the time from the compliance crowd. They say, but Cam, the driver still should have been more vigilant. We have to keep site discipline intact. Right. So we're expecting our operators to rewrite the bloody laws of physics to satisfy a compliance checklist. True accountability isn't about pushing responsibility down to the front line so the executive suite can sleep easy. I remember this one manager. He was absolutely foaming at the mouth to sack this maintenance technician. The bloke had bypassed a high-altitude lockout procedure. Standard sack him territory, right? But then we actually looked at the job. The approved written procedure required this technician to carry 20 kilograms of heavy gear up a vertical, completely unsecured 4-meter ladder. I looked the manager in the eye and said, mate, sacking this bloke won't make that ladder any safer or shorter for the next guy. And that brings us to what I call the silent tax of investigations. It's the hidden language of blame in what we proudly label no blame reports. You've seen them. The report says, we don't blame individuals here. And then the next page reads, the worker failed to follow procedure, or the supervisor did not adequately monitor. Mate, that's just blame in a high-vis vest. We have this systemic habit, this last person fallacy. We trace the chain of events backward through time, and the very second we find a human decision, we stop. Aha! Human error. And then what's the fix? Retraining. A quick toolbox talk. But retraining is just expecting the human to adapt to a broken system, rather than designing the system to tolerate the human. Now the lawyers will scream, we need those strict procedural write-ups to protect the business. We have to prove regulatory diligence. Yeah, well, your paper shield might protect the lawyers in court, but it absolutely silences the workers on site. When employees fear blame, they sanitize their incident reports. They hold back the critical details. They stay quiet. And then, guess what? Real site risks become completely invisible to management. We've got to start designing the game, not just scolding the player. That's why structured tools like the PEPO model, looking systematically at people, environment, equipment, procedures, and organization, are so bloody critical. They force us to separate hard facts from lazy judgments. Human error is a symptom of system complexity, not the diagnosis. Because at the end of the day, an organization with a spotless compliance record and a dead quiet workforce, they aren't safe. They've just learned to shut up. Anyway, that's my rant for today. Let's start fixing the ladders. Talk soon, mates.